Oh, everyone. How's everyone going? Welcome back to Catabolic Window episode number, what is it, mate?
I've lost count already.
Hey, 100 and something.
Just after 100.
Hope everyone's had a fucking wonderful week and enjoying things. Yeah, mate. I guess, to be fair, I didn't really plan anything ahead. The last podcast we did was the talking about Dr. Mike and talking about
I remember that.
Paul Carter and Ben Yanes, fun times. Yeah,
That wasn't last week, was it? It was week before.
Was it?
I don't know.
Nah, chat shit. That was last week. No, that was last week. That was last week because I edited it recently.
Okay.
Fucking not edited. What's the word? Scheduled. That's the word I'm looking for. There we go. I scheduled the edit. There we go. How's your week been, mate? Fucking hell.
Eventually. Well, it's only Tuesday, so are we going from last Tuesday?
Well, yeah. The last 7 days. How have your past 7 days been?
What have I done? Trained.
Good. I hope so.
That's about it. Not injured. Vibes are good.
Wait, did you say you are injured or you're not injured?
Not injured.
Hey, the calf's healed up, yeah?
Yeah, calves all fine. I can do that without the blood flow restriction. And then my arm is fine now, so that's good as well.
Good. What do you think? Anything that helped or just time off?
Resting for 10 days, mate.
Ew.
I know, weird that. All muscle lost.
Did you catch the Arnolds?
Yeah, I didn't really see much of it though, but Derek won, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I caught the results.
Mate, there was some absolute clowns in the comments fucking saying Haddy, and you're like, what the fuck?
What?
He wasn't even in the show.
What, like he should have won?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Dumb as fuck.
People just, I don't know what it is about Haddy. People fucking love him. Are they from like this is gonna sound, this might get me cancelled. Are they from the same country as Haddy?
It seemed like their bodybuilders are like our football players or like America's basketball players or NFL players. Like they get treated like fucking gods, and here's like, why is this big cunt walking around in the supermarket? Fuck off.
I wish bodybuilders were treated like gods here. I mean, to be fair, in our subculture they are like, but you also don't have. Actually, to be fair, if bodybuilders were treated like gods in the UK, do you know who it would be? It would be fucking Brandon Harding, and it would be all the classic boys, wouldn't it? It would never be James Hollingshead. He wouldn't get treated like a footballer. It'd be all the fucking classic boys. I guarantee you.
Why?
Because I feel like the UK is so like, oh, you're too big, you're gross. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I feel like Western white countries are just like, oh, that's too much muscle. Whereas like in the Middle East, they're like, bro, you're fucking 400 pounds lean, sick, get to 500. Like they're a bit more like,
do you need some more drugs? There you go.
Yeah, exactly. They're a bit more like, I don't know. Or I feel like if it's gonna happen anywhere, it'll be like natural bodybuilding. I think it'll be like natural bodybuilders will be like AJ Morris and fucking
everyone just walking around with backwards hats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
straight vibes.
Yeah. Everyone's exactly talking about F1 in their spare time. Like that's good.
Mate, I find F1 so boring.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I tried to watch it. So back when I was a big AJ fanboy, before I ever, knew what Telma Sartan was, I would watch AJ and I'd be like, he loves F1. All right, fine. I'm looking for new hobbies. So I'd go and watch F1. I'm like, they just go around fucking. Oh, it's so boring, bro. I'm sure driving it is great, but like,
yeah, that's what I don't get. People get so excited about it, you think they're the driver.
Yeah,
you're like, what?
Yeah, literally,
you're just not.
But I feel that way about watching most sports. The only one that I don't think is the same is bodybuilding, because one, being on stage isn't really like it's not as if being on stage is like the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
but it's the disparity between watching it and doing it is nowhere near as great as basically anything else.
Yeah, because it's like it's not as it like I mean, I'm sure it's fun to be on stage, but it's not like driving a car at like 100 miles an hour versus being sat in a chair. it's like realistically, if you remove the stage, you're just kind of like stood posing in a room. But the thing about like bodybuilding is it's like you're not Derek fucking Lunsford, and going to watch Derek Lunsford is, well, Luke, you are, mate, because you're the same height. But but like, you know, seeing something like that and you can't like recreate it or whatever. But yeah, like for me, I don't know, to me it makes sense. Like that's a spectator sport though. Like even powerlifting, as cool as it is, I'm still a little bit like, just let me lift the bar, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very optimal. Love a bit of powerlifting, mate. Do it all the
Did
time.
you ever watch powerlifting? Like,
I watched about one meet and I was like, yeah, this is dead.
I used to watch meet highlights. I couldn't watch a full meet. The only meet I fully watched was my mate Tom. Shout out Tom. So only meet I watched. I watched him do his shit and then was like, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, I'm bored of it, you know.
Yeah, powerlifting meets, like, unless they're like world records, they're not that crazy. I guess to be fair, you could probably say the same thing about amateur bodybuilding. If you're not into bodybuilding, you'd probably be like, yeah, they got some muscle, but not all the muscle. So what's the point?
Did you see Julie? Yeah, people only watch amateur bodybuilding if they know somebody in the show.
Yeah. Or you're like gonna go do it, you know.
Did you see Julius Maddox break the bench press world record?
He did that a while back, did he not? Unless
The raw one or something like that.
Yeah, was that?
He did like 100 pounds, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say 800 pounds. Yeah, I remember watching that back in the day. Do you know? Okay, the worst record break that I've ever seen to this day, like the worst one was Thor's deadlift record, was the shittest thing I've ever seen. Right? Huge props to Thor. Like insane strength, I get it, but doing like, was it 501, 505 kilo?
He did 501, yeah,
and it just moved. And I was like, that's cool, but do fucking much. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I remember watching the stream and he was like, oh, if a certain people watch, if a certain amount of people donate, I'll do 510 or 550. And I was like, bro, you could get 550, like 550 kilos. You can fucking get that. And he just didn't. He was like, yeah, 501, it moved easy. I could do more, but I'm not. And it's like, bro, what? Like, I just.
There's a, let me see if I can Google it and get it to show up. But there's a.
Yeah.
There was a Olympic pole vault guy who essentially they get paid money for every time they break the record. So he purposely smallest margin ever.
Yeah, I've seen that. But it just pissed me off that like Thor beat it by 1 kilo. And if it was a real struggle, I would have been like insane crazy. But it just clearly was like RPE6. And that's what bugs me, is that like,
yeah, like, bro,
we could have seen that's a crazy lift. We could have seen a crazy lift, like deep into the 500s, you know, but you just didn't. And that's what pisses me off.
It's just a bit like, mate, if you're gonna break it, like, fucking give it your all.
Yeah, exactly.
Said by two guys who can't even pull 200.
I can pull 200. Fuck off. I've pulled 200. But, like, yeah, I can't pull too much about. I don't think I can pull like 205. Anyway, but yeah, like it just bugs me as well, because from his perspective as well, people are always like, oh, but Eddie's is better because he did it in competition. I was like, Thor, you could have shut that down by just pulling 50 kilos, doing an extra 10% more. And you could be like, yeah, I didn't do it in competition, but I absolutely buried 500. Or repped it. You could have fucking repped 500. Like, I don't know. That just sometimes you
500. Set the world record and then do 2 more reps.
Yeah. Set an AMRAP record for 500. But like, whenever you watch powerlifting and it's like an RPA, it's just so fucking boring. It's just so fucking boring. Like, they just load up the bar and you're like, oh, are they going to get it? And they do, and you're like, cool, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit of struggle.
My biggest like angst with powerlifting is when they're so technical about their main lifts, and then they do their accessories like they don't even know how to train.
Yeah, blaster them.
Just blaster them. What the fuck are you doing? They'll spend literally an hour and a half doing 4 sets on a squat on a bench.
Yeah.
Then they'll do 4 accessory movements in the space of half an hour.
the first accessory movement I always give powerlifters is always just a modified version of their main lift, because that's the one they always take the most seriously. Like if I program like most intermediate powerlifters, best believe you're going to see SBD and then paused SBD, and then I'll like start to break it up into more specific like accessory work. But it's all like, yeah, because if you give them something like a fucking let's say you give them like a barbell good morning or something, or you give them like deep Bulgarian split squats, they're just gonna bin it. They're just not gonna fucking do it. Or like reverse Nordics, again, they're just gonna bin it off. Like, or you give them a hyperextension and they just don't do it anywhere near the RP target you've set. You're like, oh my god, bro. So
there's an Olympic lifter that trains here that does Bulgarian split squats 2 or 3 times a week, like different variations. I'm like, who hurt you? Fuck.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Like, you do barbell, you do dumbbell, and then like, fuck my life. That's nuts. Screw. Oh, good conversation, bro. Cheers. Thanks. Nice. Okay, one thing we can talk about. I remember I was literally writing a post about this morning.
Yeah.
And one of my clients said to me, I checked in and he'd had a bit of a shit week, and he says something like, any telling off is fully welcome.
Oh yeah. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, why do coaches tell off clients? It's so fucking bizarre, bro. Like, so coaches telling off clients, like, first of all, it depends. Like, there's not really any instance I can think of where being pissed off at a client is going to do anything, because if you get pissed off at them, it's their own progress they're getting in the way of. If they're not pissed off, then that tells you something pretty important. Like, if someone's like, oh, I want to drop 2 stone, and then they just don't follow any actions towards dieting at all, don't get pissed off at them. Be like, okay, do you actually want to drop 2 stone? Because like, there's a big difference between saying it and like actually doing it. So like, maybe you don't want to do that.
Nobody would say, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire. Like, everyone would want to have £1 million, but not many people actually want to earn the £1 million.
Exactly, yeah. Like the stress of going through that, etc. Yeah. So first of all, it's like, okay, well, if your client isn't listening, that's important feedback. Like, let's break that apart. And the second thing is, if it does bother them, you're just making them feel shit for no reason. Like, they're just, if they're already beating themselves up and feeling bad, and they come to you and they just get told off, they're just gonna stop coming to you with their issues. Because why would they? If they fucked up and they feel bad, making them feel worse isn't going to be any more of a catalyst. It's just going to make them feel very disheartened. And then they're going to leave you, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm not fit for coaching or whatever. Like the classic, I'm not ready. I can't do it. I can't give myself to this process. And it's like, there's just not many instances where telling someone off really makes sense, because either they're aware and they're upset, or they're aware and they're not upset. If they're not upset, that gives you great fucking insight. If a client's in prep and they immediately go and eat like they go and binge like in the first 2 days, you're probably not going to put them through the prep. You're probably going to say, hey, why do you think you want to prep? Because maybe this isn't a smart idea. Like, maybe you just want to diet, or like, what are you trying to do here with this? But there's no need to, like, the same way that like if people sign up, they'll be like, oh, I want to get absolutely huge, and you'll be like, okay, your food starting off is gonna be about 3,000 calories. And they're like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. And you'll be like, okay, well then maybe let's not focus on that goal. But there's good feedback in clients fucking up, and I think people just write it off. Anyway, you go on, mate. I've waffled on.
Shut the fuck up, mate. The way that I normally approach this is like, okay, first time, let's look at sort of, why did this happen? What could we do next time to be better? Is it just one of those things where actually like somebody died, or it was your birthday, which is once a year, where it's like, okay, we'll just move on, sort of thing. And then if it's a continued thing of a couple of weeks in a row, we're having similar sort of problems, I normally go a little bit blunter of like, okay, at this pace, you said you wanted to get here in 16 weeks. At this pace, it's going to take us 1.5 years. Are you happy with that? And they're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, it's just about reframing it, and if it's something that they're happy with, even though it might not be the best possible result for, say, marketing purposes or whatever the fuck, or what you think they might be able to do, if they're happy with it, then that's the litmus test of like, are you doing a good job?
Yeah, exactly. But I think I was talking to a coach from the academy where they had this client going through a diet. The client was like, I want to get absolutely peeled, bro, and get peeled. And their actions were just not lining up with that. So I was like, go and talk to them. They talked to the client, and eventually the client kind of came to the conclusion of, oh, actually, like, I kind of don't want to do that. I just want to kind of chill out. I want to be a bit more flexible. I want to have an untracked meal every week. I don't really want to push a ton of cardio. I want to get a bit leaner, but actually, like, I'm more focused on like longevity and sustainability. And the coach was like, oh, what the fuck do I do? And I was like, well, just if you're not quite sure. What's that?
Listen to them, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, if you're not quite sure, just like, you can always ask the client, okay, this week we've done this much. You've lost this much body weight. If you continue on this way, here's what we're looking at. How do you feel? If you're not quite sure what that client wants, you can always just say, like, how do you feel about this week? And they might go, this week was really hard. I definitely don't think I can do this for too much longer. And you go, okay, cool, that's good feedback. But then they go, actually, maybe, now I'm kind of getting into it. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I can push a bit harder. Cool. But you don't need all of your clients to be pushed to the absolute maximum. Like, you might give someone half an hour of cardio a week or 60 minutes of cardio a week, and they're like, holy shit, this is so much. And you'll be like, oh, you could fucking do that daily. It's like, yeah, sure they could. But like, what's the point? What is the point of giving them that? You give them 10K steps and they're struggling to do it. What's the point of saying, oh yeah, well, I could give you 15 or try and get it up to 15? Pushing beyond what that client wants isn't going to get you anywhere. As long as that client ultimately is moving forward. If the client weighs in like 4 weeks in a row, they're the same, nothing's changed, and they're like, yeah, bro, I love it, and like performance is the same and like everything's the same, you should probably as a coach go, okay, you might enjoy this, but you're actually doing literally nothing. Like, your training is the same, you've not progressed anything, body weight's identical. What the fuck are we doing here? But
but there's very few people who would genuinely be happy with that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. As long as you can still go, okay, I can look at this client, I can see that there is a progression. Cool. As long as they're happy. If you're worried about moving too slowly, you can always just say, hey, how do you feel about this week? Are you getting antsy? Are you enjoying things? How do you feel? You can always set a target. You can say, okay, you lost like 300 grams this week. How do you feel about that? Yeah, that's okay. Okay, cool. We'll aim for like minimum a kilo a month, something like that. And we'll do it for 2 months. Or we'll do it for 3 months, aim to pull back 3 kilos, then we can have a conversation from there. Cool. Like, you can always do that. You can always just go, okay, let's set a bit of a kind of pace for ourselves. And you can always put in your check-ins. Again, I think a lot of coaches are scared to modify check-ins. You can always say, like, how did you find this week? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it frustratingly slow? Was it scary quick? Again, how was that? But as long as the client's happy and you're giving them as much progress as they want, who fucking cares? Not all your clients are going to be bodybuilders going into prep and getting absolutely huge. So
yeah, there's a huge difference between the people that I coach online and the people that I PT in terms of like the rate of progress that they're happy with. Like, my PT clients are happy with 2-3 pounds a month.
Yeah,
they're like, this is fucking great. I don't have to be too regimented, and I can still see some fat loss, and I'm progressing in the gym and that sort of thing. Whereas the people online are like, yeah, mate, £1.50 a week's pretty slow. We could speed that up a little bit because I'm not that hungry.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah, you got people who are like, I want to get this done. I've got 10 kilos to pull off, and I've got about 4 weeks to do it. Whereas people who are a bit more casual are going to be like, oh, body weight is down a small amount, but it's staying down, and that's great. And I still had dinner with my kids, and I still went to the family barbecue, etc. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got different focuses and goals. I think you need, like, the best skill you can have as a coach is giving people the progress that they want. Moving as quickly as possible is very dependent on the client. There's no need to be, and again, like, just because someone's hired you doesn't mean that your job is to just absolutely fucking bury them in terms of like what you're doing. There's just no need. Like, some people just aren't going to be happy with that. Your job is to give them the results that they want and they're happy with, because ultimately, like, your job is just client satisfaction. What the fuck are you laughing at?
I just thought of something.
What are you giggling about?
You know what I'm thinking.
No, I'm not. What are you giggling at?
I'll tell you later. Funny.
Oh,
if Dan was here, he would have said it. I've got that penciled in, the one with Dan next week.
Yeah, beautiful. Me too.
So we could check and make sure that he's up for that. Yeah. Like it's or people sort of or coaches can tend to put their expectations onto the client, and if they're not meeting it, they're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like make them want to train how they train and how they like training.
Too many coaches don't really have experience coaching. They just give people what they've been given, and they just treat people like they're themselves, and it's just fucking pointless. Like, again, the art of coaching is dealing with people. You're going to deal with people. If you're looking for people who are identical to yourself, you're not going to fucking find them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just wasting your own time, and you can't just coach everyone like they're a newer, smaller version of you, because they're not. Everyone's got their own goals and focuses. I always say to people as well, like, you started off as someone who, like, me and Luke didn't start off being like, I want to prep, I want to jump on stage, I want to track all this crap.
Sometimes
we got like we built our way up to it. And so if me or Luke, when we first started, were getting coached, you'd probably be surprised how chill we would have been and how like hands off we would have been, in comparison to like where we are now and what we want now. And like the rate of change that we would have been happy with bodyweight wise previously is probably very different to what it is now. So just because you've got
now I'm like, let's get this fucking done.
Yeah, now you want to see 10 pounds get pulled overnight, and you're like, not quick enough. But
not shredded yet.
Yeah. But like, if you're, if you're, just because you're dealing with someone who is a bit more casual doesn't mean that they don't have the propensity to like be more serious. I mean, my like first coach I worked with, first time we tracked things was literally just protein and calories. Like, I think towards the start we even just did. I think even towards the start we literally just did protein. I didn't track steps. I didn't do any cardio. I trained 3 days a week, and I didn't even like log my lifts because I was a fucking idiot. But like that then built up into doing all this shit now. And the thing is, like, yeah, if a coach, I think if a client nowadays, like I was back then, came to a coach and was like, hey, here's where I'm at, I'm not comfortable tracking all the macros, I'm not comfortable tracking steps, I don't give a shit about cardio, etc., they'd be like, fuck off, bro. But like, look at me now, I'm fucking gonna compete. So just because you didn't start off with someone who's like, yeah, bro, fucking put me in, coach, whatever, doesn't mean that they're not going to get to that point. Do you know what I mean?
The way that I normally frame it is, okay, with where you're at right now, you're somewhere on the spectrum of doing absolutely fuck all and continually getting a worse physique.
Yep.
And nailing absolutely everything 100%. Where do you think you sit on that? And they're like, okay, it's somebody about here. And I'm like, okay, somebody that's expecting to see a pound of loss per week is probably going to do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that? And if they say no, it's like, okay, well, we need to reevaluate the progress that you're expecting to make. It's really weird because there are some people that expect to like do basically fuck all and get everything happen.
Yeah, like, you do have to have that conversation sometimes.
Yeah.
When
was the last time you had to do that?
To be fair, probably 2 weeks ago, but it was about coaching. It wasn't necessarily about physique progress, it was more like coaching. But
it's the same thing that applies.
Yeah, like
coaches will get pissed off at their clients that want to have like an incredible physique fucking next month, but then they're also like, why isn't my business notoriously successful when they have 2 clients right now?
Yeah, they were kind of like, well, I've got a level 3, I just need time, bro. And I was like, what are you doing with your time? And they were like, well, I don't have a lot of clients, so I just do check-ins and then I chill. And I'm like, bro, like, you can't do
4 check-ins and then I chill until I go to the gym in the afternoon.
Yeah, you can't just do nothing. I was like, fucking hell, man. And he wasn't like, his social media was just not active either. And I was like, look, learn some shit and then talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to be a fucking little business mentor, but just like, did you know that if you post about your coaching online, you're probably going to get some interest about your coaching online? So you should
fucking say.
I know. So you should probably post. Just get knowledgeable and post about it online, and you'll draw people in and then showcase your results. Like, if you talk about the knowledge that you have, and if you give clients good results, and you show that on social media, you'll do pretty fucking well. Like that is the 99% of coach marketing, to be honest. Unless you're at a point where like you're fucking a 7 or 8 figure business, then I'm sure you can make a lot of optimizations with like finance and shit like that. But you know, unless you're at that point, it is just be good at your job and be known for being good at your job, you know.
The parallels are ridiculously similar as well. And like that's a really good way to put it, is to frame it in a way that the person understands. Like one of my clients is a rugby player, and he was a bit worried about losing body weight and the effect that that's going to have on the pitch and his performance there. So he wanted to lose body fat but not lose so much weight, and was sort of expecting that, okay, he's going to be able to sort of swap half of the weight that he's going to lose for muscle mass. And I'm sort of explaining to him that that's quite unrealistic. And the analogy that I come with is, okay, some geezer over here is running down here with the ball. The mate on the left of you says, come on, we need to go and tackle him and get the fucking ball off him. And that ball is fat loss. Okay. Guy on the right-hand side is, okay, well, he's just about to pass it to this geezer over here if we go and tackle him. So we need to go and then mark him so we can get the ball off him. That's building muscle. Yeah. Like if you try and tackle him and mark the other guy at the same time, what happens? And he's like, well, I'll just stand in the fucking middle of the pitch and do fuck all. I'm like, precisely. If you try and do both of those things, basically nothing's going to happen. Yeah. And explaining it in that sort of way to a lot of people works really, really well. Yeah, I think I use I'm known by my clients for using analogies. I use quite a lot of analogy. I like an analogy though, because it explains things in like a nice. Yeah, exactly. Like it explains things in a nice, easy way. It's like I got asked yesterday in the gym. Someone was like, "What split you do?" And I was like, "Upper lower." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the really good one, isn't it? Like that's the best." All the others are shit. Yeah, and I was like, no. I was like, as long as like you're getting the same amount of weekly sets done to a high quality, you're fine. I was like, it's the same as if I paid you 70 quid a week or I paid you £10 a day. At the end of the week, it's the same fucking amount of money. Which one do you prefer? And it was like, oh, that's a good way of putting it. And I was like, yeah, I know. But it's the exact same. Like it's the exact same thing. I think that often like driving or money are the easiest ones to like kind of correlate things to. What's your best driving analogy? I was going to say the driving one I use for PEDs. So I say like correct PD use is kind of like driving 35 miles an hour and everyone's driving at 30. You look around, you can't really tell that you're like, when you're in the car, you can't really tell that you're driving that much faster than people. But then when you look back, you're quite far ahead. And equally, if you want to use more drugs, yes, you will drive faster, but the faster you drive, the more likely you are to crash as well. There's higher risk to yourself. And if you do crash, you're more likely to get a bunch of injuries and issues. And then adding in like your Telmisartan, your health supplements, that sort of thing is like making the car a little bit safer to drive. And yeah, so you can drive it a little bit quicker or drive it for longer, etc., etc. Yeah. But yeah, the car analogy is mainly PEDs, to be fair. I've got a really good one for like clients that are struggling to get their body weight in and sort of thinking like, oh, I'm getting like one weigh in a week. That's fine. That's telling me it. And it works fucking great for accountants and sort of teachers, lecturers, that sort of thing. So I'll say to an accountant, okay, if I give you last month's accounts, can you tell me what this business or what this client's looking like? And they're like, well, I can see how much money they've got at the moment, but I don't really know when the next lot of payments are coming in, if they've got enough money to cover it, what performance has been like over the last year. Is this a busy month? Is it a quiet month? You can't work any of that shit out. Yeah. If you've got December, January, February, March, you've got a better idea of how it's moving. If you've got last December, January, March, you've got an even better idea to compare it to and see are they moving in the right direction. Same thing. And then what I would say to somebody who's got students in a class would be, okay, you've just done a test, you've just done an assignment, and you mark one paper. Can you tell me how well the class did? Like, no, I've got fucking no idea. Okay. What if you mark 5? Okay, I've got a better idea. What if you mark half of them? Pretty good idea. Or it might be you've got one student, they've just done a piece of work and they've got a fucking C. Are they getting better compared to what they used to do, or are they getting worse and you need to then help them more? Yeah. Same sort of thing. And then you then bring that back to, okay, well, if we if we can see more of the accounts, if we can see more of the body weights, if we can see more of the grades, then we've got a much better idea of what's going on.
Yeah. This is why analogies are good, because often if you explain like why something is beneficial in like incorrect terms or whatever it's relating to, it's like people don't really get it. You know what I mean? If it's like you can try, you always have to kind of link it to something like that people give a shit about. And whereas if you have an analogy, explaining it in terms of it's just like this thing that you understand makes it a hell of a lot easier to explain and convey, because then people get it and they're like, oh, okay. But often it's like if you're trying to explain, like if you were using like weekly volume there, you could say the same thing as I said with the money thing, as our studies have actually indicated that it's more so the amount of weekly volume that you do, the amount of sets that you do, rather than the frequency that you use that matters for growth. So therefore the split that you use is just a way of conveniently getting in the volume. And a lot of people hear that and be like, okay, well, like they don't give a shit. Whereas if you just say, yeah, it's the same as being paid the same amount weekly as daily, people are like, oh, okay, I get it. And so then if you say, which one do you prefer? Then people are like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, but if you just say something quite abstract and quite like on its own, it's just very hard to like give a shit. People can kind of grasp the concept of like, okay, I think Jack just said it doesn't matter, but I don't really get like how or why. And that doesn't really answer my question, because like, does that mean upper low is good or bad? Whereas if you explain it in terms of like finance or something, they'll be like, oh, okay, upper low is fine. It's just personal preference. Cool. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of a difference there. Like if you're, I think a week is probably the most amount of time that you'd look to measure that out on. Like you're not going to do chest every 2 weeks. And that's probably going to be a little bit worse. I'm not sure how to put that into the money analogy, but that's sort of what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like if you
maybe like an upfront cost to it that reduces the total amount you get, or
yeah, like there's, I don't know, there's a certain amount that you want to earn per week. I don't know, something like that. Again, no analogy is going to be perfect because money doesn't work exactly like training muscularity, you know, or gaining muscularity. Sorry. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it's like, okay, if you're going to train a muscle, if you're picking between once, twice, or 3 times a week, frequency is just a tool for convenience. Really, all that matters is volume, and then kind of conveying that is like nice and easy. But yeah, usually like I like analogies because I think they explain quite complex things quite simply, particularly for like a lot of like more relaxed clients who don't really give a shit about the why as much, like the in-depth why. They want to know the vague why of like, okay, the split doesn't really matter. Why have you picked this split? Well, I've picked it because I think it will suit you nicely. Why? Because I think it will work for you and your schedule. Cool. That's what they want to know. Hey, why not this split? Oh, well, we could, but it doesn't really make a difference for growth. Okay, cool. Like that's what they want to know. They don't want to know like the ins and outs beyond that. So having an analogy to kind of explain, here's a vague idea of like how that works, is nice and easy for someone to grasp. But very rarely do clients really give a shit about like, talk to me about the ins and outs, quote that study, walk me through the study design, etc., you know.
Literally.
Or like explaining what a volume landmark is, you know.
Yeah. Like wait, I just realized I forgot to ask what equals.
My week's been really fucking good. Really fucking good. Body weight has been dropping. So food's going up. Training's been fucking flying. And yeah, man, things are just very fucking good at the minute. So yeah, I'm enjoying bodybuilding. Did I talk about the issues I had with sleep on the podcast? I don't know if I did.
I don't think so. No.
I had issues with sleeping because I would snore and wake myself up, which was ideal.
What a retard.
So what I've started doing is, so I use nasal strips for one, that helps. Sleeping on my side.
You get a picture of these.
The nasal strips?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got them. Hang on, one second.
No, I like on, I mean.
No, not on.
Why?
Well, I can put one on for you now.
It looks so weird when you walk away from the camera with the background.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it looks weird, isn't it? But I'll put one on for you.
Going into the distance, but it's never there.
Yeah, I go into the Archer Academy.
Lol.
There you go, mate. Oh.
Oh, that's not that good.
I want to get the metallic ones because these ones are a little bit like you have to
What
hold
are
them
they
down.
the ones that like pull your nostrils out?
Yeah, yeah.
Mate, the videos of those are so weird.
I
Where
know they
people
are.
like film it up their nostril and then they like make the weird surprised face as it clips.
Yeah, so I use these little nasal strips. I also got so for anyone listening at home, I've got a nasal strip on my nose in a minute. It's like sticky and it opens up your nostrils a little bit. I've just got the I just tried it just to try it. It's fucking good. My nose is tiny, and I'm asthmatic, so my breathing is awful. So yeah, like this is good. I do want to get the metal ones just to see if there's a difference. I also got a sinus rinse, which is amazing. Holy shit. Best thing I ever bought.
Why does that sound like a dodgy sex maneuver? Like it
The
does.
sinus rinse. It's like the thing is, it's in my bathroom. It looks like a douche because it is a douche for your nose, but like it looks dodgy as fuck.
Nice.
But yeah, like you put saline in it and then you like tilt your head to one side. There's a temperature gauge on it and it tells you if the water's like hot enough. You squirt it up one nostril, it goes all the way up and comes out the other nostril. Completely unblocks your nose. It's amazing. You can use it as often as you want as well. I was using nasal spray and obviously there's only so much you can use there. But the sinus unblocker is so good. So I unblock my sinuses. I open my nose up with a nasal strip and I have to sleep on my side, not my back. And one thing that I found,
sleeps on their back.
I love sleeping on my back, bro. Like I love it, but I snore if I sleep on my back. So I'm having to learn to sleep on my side. And one thing that I found helps was I put whatever side I sleep on, I put an AirPod in the opposite ear and I'll listen to like some documentary or whatever, fall asleep to it. It's the most restful sleep I've ever had in my life. But if I don't put the AirPod in my ear, my body will like roll onto my back in the night because I prefer sleeping on my back and then I wake up all the fucking time. So yeah, I fixed my. I feel good for it.
Electromagnetic signals for your brain, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You're fucked.
I'm after now. I want them. That's why I got the eyebrow piercing to get even more through there. You know, it resonates with the metal, goes into my brain.
That is not ideal.
I know. I'm trying to get a brain chip, bro. That's what it's all about. Yeah, fun times. Yeah. So since fixing my sleep, fucking things have been a lot better. Like my productivity, my mood, my training, fucking everything, man. So yeah, much better. And I'm looking forward to legs today because I'm feeling rested. I woke up so well rested this morning that I was literally groggy. Like felt like I come out of fucking hibernation. I have been playing around with Supreme Sleep from Conti as well. I think it's more like the ritual that helps than anything. Of like, so what I do is I'm
going to sleep now.
What's that?
Telling yourself like, okay, yeah, I'm going to sleep now.
Yeah, like because I'll drink it as a tea because it mixes better with the powder when it's hot. So
really?
Yeah.
What flavor is it?
Mango.
I'm gonna fucking try that.
You got some Supreme Sleep on you?
No, I've got the Strom one at home though. I've got lime mango.
Yeah. So I used to do it with the Strom. So you boil the kettle, like pour it into, like put the powder into a mug, pour the kettle, fucking put the boiling water in, just enough to like mix it. It mixes thoroughly, like it properly declumps. Then put a little bit of cold water in, just so it's not boiling. And you can drink that. It's so nice. Like it's relaxing. It's nice. And that like tea, once I've had that, I'm like, it's that routine of like, I'm off to sleep. So I'm going to keep it in for the time being. I'm going to run through the tub and then see how I feel. Oh, is Luke here? He's here. Yeah. It's one of those things where like, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. And if you can't sleep, you can't sleep. But it's one of those things where if I'm already bodybuilding, I might as well try and min-max as much as I can. Like if you can spend the money and not miss it, you fucking might as well.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what I've been doing before sleep? Just watching Yellowstone.
What the fuck is Yellowstone?
Oh, bro. Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
No, but I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. So it's set in by Yellowstone National Park in Montana, so like North of America sort of thing. And so you've got the sort of cowboys that have got their generational ranch there. You've got the Native Americans that sort of want the land back, and then like the corporate types coming to try and take over, sort of thing. So a couple of different factions. It's just come on Netflix. There's 4 seasons on there. There's season 5 on Amazon. So I'm going to pay for that today and get that because I've just finished the 4th season. And it's very, very good, mate. It's so good.
Nice.
It's in my like top 10 for sure.
I rate that.
What are your top TV shows?
My top TV shows
Ever, yeah.
Ever. Easily Breaking Bad jumps to my mind. Like easily that's going in there. Fuck me, man. Personally, Doctor Who. Big fan of Doctor Who.
Dreadful choice.
Huge fan of Doctor Who, man.
What do you think of the last couple of seasons?
Well, the ones with Shooty Gatwa have been pretty decent. I like the 60th special. I mean, the Jodie Whittaker ones were pretty poorly written, but she was fine. The Peter Capaldi ones are slept on. The Matt Smith ones are slept on. David Tennant's overhyped. Christopher Eccleston is the best. Yeah, no, real shit. And then fucking, oh my god, I don't even watch that much TV, you know. What other TV shows do I highly rate? I don't know. I'm an old man. I watch a lot of like just generic shit on TV, like Come Dine With Me, or Police Interceptors, because I tend to go to bed around 10, and I usually finish work about 8, and then I got to walk King for an hour, so I only really have like an hour of TV an evening. I watch a lot of YouTube, to be fair. Like usually I'll have like at the weekend I'll have like some kind of YouTube on. So yeah, I'm more of a YouTube than a TV man.
I do YouTube in the day and then like an episode of TV in the evening.
Yeah, fair.
Like just when I've got like 20 minutes to watch something while I'm eating a meal, or, you know.
I don't really have much patience to like watch TV shows.
Whoa.
Like, I know. I just like, I don't know, like particularly because like if me and Chloe are going to sit down to watch something, we're probably going to want to talk to each other because we haven't seen each other all day. So
yeah,
if we watch something,
you can chat through.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why like shit TV on TV is great. Like fucking Come Dine With Me is great because you can just talk through it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I kind of tend to go for
what is it, 4 in a bed or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I rate for.
What was I going to say? Okay, so I'd say my top ones would be Breaking Bad, Yellowstone's in there, Sons of Anarchy. Probably the Fallout TV show. Have you watched that?
Nah.
Bro, you have to watch it. It's so good.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of the best video game adaptations I've ever seen.
Fair.
Which isn't a very high bar, to be honest. Reacher is really good as well. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
Nah.
Also good. Mate, he's jacked as fuck. You see the progression from season 1 where he's like got jacked naturally, and then season 2 he's a fucking house. He's getting interviewed on like Jerry Springer or one of those shows, and he's asking him like, how did he get so jacked? And he just looks at him and goes, testosterone helps.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Yeah, I wouldn't put... Sorry?
He just openly said he used gear.
Yeah, man.
That's jokes. I rate that.
Yeah, I know. And then there's like Prime Prison Break, like seasons 1 and 2, I'd say is in there. But after that, it got a bit shit. So that's it wouldn't make the top 5 for that reason.
You watch a lot of series, don't you?
No, mate, half of these I watched about 10 years ago.
Yeah, but still, like you watched a lot of series in your time.
Only recently I've started watching them again. When Yellowstone came on Netflix, I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I just don't watch that many series.
Trust me, mate. Just trust me. It's really...
I just watch a lot of stupid stuff on YouTube.
Why the fuck is there a phone in here?
I can't hear it. It's fine. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of YouTube. My main free time sinkhole is YouTube. I downloaded Cyberpunk recently.
I've never played it. Is it good?
No, I don't like it, bro.
I started playing Batman Arkham Knight the other week.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I haven't played it in like a week and a half though.
Did you ever play The Witcher?
Yeah, man.
Okay, what did you think of The Witcher?
I played Witcher 2. That was good. Witcher 3 was really good.
If you like Witcher 3, you will like Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay. So you didn't like Witcher 3?
Witcher 3 is fine, but it's so dense, man. Like, it's just such
it's like a 100-hour game.
Yeah, it's like, but you go and like, you go and talk to someone, and then they're like, hey, go kill this griffin. And you're like, okay, cool. And then there's like another 10 minutes of dialogue. It's like, bro, let me play the game. There's so much story and there's so little gameplay. And then when you are doing gameplay, it's like run on a horse to find this thing, to go do 2 minutes of fighting, and then run on your horse back, and then have 10 minutes of dialogue. I'm like, fuck's sake. The Witcher 3 is so slow paced. I just can't play it. I like gameplay. I'm not really a big story guy. Like, I like some semblance of story, but I like gameplay. And
the cities in Witcher 3 are nuts.
Yeah, they are cool. Like, it's so cool. Like, the lore's cool. Like the game looks cool. Like, the graphics are insane. Like, the lore's great. Yeah, it's just like whenever I go to play it, it's just never like, there's just too many breaks for me. And the same thing with Cyberpunk. Like, I was reading the reviews for it because I was like, am I the only one? A lot of people were like, yeah, the pace just crawls to a halt. Like, you'll drive around, you'll get driven around in a car by an AI. They go to a gunfight that's like 3 seconds long, and then get talked at, and then you're like, oh my fucking god! Like, just let me like do things. I don't know.
I feel like you might just ruin video games for me now. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not like Fallout's good because it's like Fallout and Skyrim are good because it's like you just have free reign. Like, you can just run around and you'll hit something. Like, if
the density's there to find. It's not forced on you.
Yeah, like if you play like Skyrim or Fallout, I never fast travel because if you just walk for long enough, something will happen.
I start to fast travel once I've sort of been around.
That's fair, but like if you go and talk to someone, you'll probably get a quest. Most dialogue's pretty short as well. It's not like crazy, and equally like the story is good and it's involved, but it doesn't just like crawl to a halt. Like, whenever they go tell you to go do something, like, hey, go raid this cave or go do this thing for me, it's not like rapid. Like, you actually get to sink your teeth into it a little bit, take your time, do it, then go back. And like, that's the thing. It's like if it's like if you talk to the Jarl in Whiterun and he talked to you for 20 minutes and then said, hey, go find a cave and go kill a thing, and you did it in 2 minutes, then you have to go back and do another 20 minutes of talking. I'd be like, fuck's sake.
That seems a bit extreme.
Yeah, it's just like stupid. Like, there's certain games that I like, but yeah, some of them just don't carry they just don't carry my attention span. Like, when I play a game, I like want to sit there and like do things. Do you know what I mean? Let me do things. But equally, I'm also not a huge fan of multiplayer games because I find them I find them so repetitive, man. I got Black Ops 6. I played that for a bit. I enjoyed that. Like, I would play like 5 to 10 minutes a day. Fuck me, this makes it sound like I have no life. It sounds like I just work all the time. And I play a good few hours at the weekend, and then like, yeah, I just like burnt myself out and was like, this is the same thing over and over. I'm not that fast. So yeah. I don't know. If anyone's listening and has any good game recommendations for me, where like there's a good solid amount of gameplay, it's single player, I have a PC and I have a PS5, so fucking whatever goes, let me know and I'll be happy to play it. All right, give me some good shit, guys. Give me some good shit.
What about you, like top 5 games?
Top 5 games. Okay, I'm gonna go for, oh my god, this is so hard. Okay, Skyrim has to be in there. I'd say GTA 5 is in there.
Yeah, that's one multiplayer that I feel like does actually get me. It's good.
Yeah, I like the online. Not really anymore. It's kind of a bit like busy with shit. It's kind of ruined by hackers as well. But yeah, that was good. Oh my god, bro. Holy shit, you put me on the spot. I might have to look through my fucking Steam library at this rate. Okay, no, one that I like is, this is a rogue one. It's Deep Rock Galactic. Rogue choice. We've got.
What is it?
It is a multiplayer game where you basically, you're a dwarf and you go mining for minerals and shit, and you shoot a bunch of bugs.
Minecraft was like, peak. Minecraft was up there.
Minecraft's good. I probably would put Minecraft in there. Oh my god, this is so hard. I'm trying not to like let the gaps in conversation fill too much. Fallout 3. I haven't played New Vegas. I know, I'm sorry.
You should be.
I know I should play New Vegas, to be fair. Maybe I should do that. To be fair, I'm looking for game recommendations. Maybe I should play that.
Mate, it's so cheap as well.
I've already got it as well. I own it already.
Yeah, you need to play that.
Oh, and then one of the Assassin's Creeds. I don't know which one.
Oh, Black Flag. Yeah.
Oh, Black Flag is good. I was going to say maybe Brotherhood, maybe 3, maybe Black Flag. I kind of like Origins as well.
The Ezio ones. I might do that.
Oh, the Ezio ones are great, bro. Great.
I think I played the first Ezio one from memory.
Yeah, Ezio is good. I also like Revelation. To be fair, there's not really any Assassin's Creeds I don't like, other than Unity's fine.
Unity was so buggy when it came out. Do you remember that? Yeah,
I do. Odyssey's a bit shit. What's the name of the one in London with like the
Syndicate?
Syndicate. I'm not really a fan of Syndicate.
It's all right.
I haven't played the little games. I played Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. That was fine.
3 was really good, actually.
3 was good, yeah.
3 was my first one.
My first one was Brotherhood. Rogue choice. Brotherhood I really like.
And then I think I went back and played 3.
Low-key, Just Cause 3 might also be on there. Weird choice.
That was good. I back that.
Just Cause 4, what a disappointment. Oh, no, actually, I tell you what.
They're all the same, mate, aren't they?
Yeah, they are all the same.
It's go to some dodgy South American country and blow shit up.
2 was good.
That's all that happened.
Did you ever play 1? Just Cause 1?
No.
Weird game. So good, though. Like, yeah, it's just like so old. It's fucking ancient. I liked Far Cry 3 and I liked Far Cry 4, but they are basically the same game.
3 is up there. I played the new one and it's fucking terrible.
I've got Far Cry 5 or 6 on PS5 in the other room. I haven't played
6 is that I played like half of 5 and it was just weird because it was like in America, but like it didn't really make sense for it to be in America.
Yeah, I wasn't interested by it being in America. Part of the fun is the fact that it's in some like tropical, you know, fucking like some tropical country, and it's like all blue and exotic and whatever. Yeah. That's part of the fun for me. Yeah, but yeah. All right. We've pretty much hit time there, to be fair, so we might as well wrap up. All right, mate. So thank you, everyone, for watching. If you want coaching from Luke, it's LacticAddictLuke on Instagram. Make sure you check out his YouTube as well. We don't actually shout that out enough. That's LacticAddictLuke as well. If you want to check me out on Instagram, Jack_Archer Academy. Same thing on YouTube. If you're watching the podcast, let us know what you're watching it on. Spotify, YouTube, but let us know. It'd be good to know. As always, tag us in your stories. We love that. If you're after some clothing as well, we got BuiltNotBorn.store. You can use code Archer10 or Lactic10. I would recommend using code Lactic10. It helps out the both of us, whereas the other one just helps out me. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We will leave things there. If anyone wants to ask us any messages, send us any messages, or ask us any questions for the pod, holler them there. And cheers everyone. See ya. Bye.